So today, as I have mentioned earlier, as I have mentioned last week, we'll be having another topic for finals, and this will be a part of your coverage. Take note that Wednesday will be your quiz for this one, and Friday will be your exam. Okay, so let's start. So we will be talking about um, it's more about strategic framework as to performance evaluation, and as you know, it is part of the overall strategic management process. So after we planned, after we organized, we have to take a look at it if we are meeting the goals or the objectives that we have set. Okay, so we have to evaluate the performance of the company. So it will explore the essential components of strategic management, including measures of performance, enterprise resource planning, and the role of ISO. Okay, so let's start. So, evaluating performance, the foundations of strategic management. So, when you say performance evaluation and control, everything, when we talk about the performance, maybe at first we will be thinking about the performance of the employees, but that's not the only case. We are talking about the performance of the company as a whole, whether it is meeting the set objectives or goals. So it involves gathering data and reports to assess outcomes and activities. So um, if there are some undesired, when you say undesired, hindi natin gusto, undesired performance results, that means that there is an inappropriate strategic management process or there's a flaw or a problem in its execution. Okay? So when you say performance measurement, performance is the ultimate outcome of the organizational activities. Selecting appropriate measures to evaluate performance should align with the organizational unit being assessed. So how you need to um, set how is it measured. You need to plan how is it measured. Okay. Um, objectives related to profitability, market share, and cost reduction during the strategy formulation stage should guide performance measurement post implementation strategies. Okay, so next one. So there. Defining the right measures of for success. So we have the traditional measures, which is the ROI and EPS. Of course, ROI is the return of investment, and EPS is the earnings per share. It's very effective for assessing profitability objectives. Of course, when you say, yeah, I think ROI is usually done for small business or for startup businesses. Like if you remember, if you're going to create your feasibility study, ROI is being measured for uh, estimated ROI, like within 5 years, nabawi ba yung investment, initial investment, right? But if it's already ongoing, you have to track whether each, the projected ROI, projected income for every year is being met. Okay, and we also have steering controls, predicting and guiding performance to predict likely profitability and steer future performance. Organizations need to develop measures known as steering controls that focus on variables influencing future profitability. There are some specific metrics that help predict profits. Okay, as you can see in this um, figure, we have the evaluation and control process. First, determine what to measure. What aspect, anong aspeto ng company ang gusto mong i-measure. Then, you need to establish standards. Then, you have to measure. Gagradean mo siya kung nami-meet ba yung standards. Next, does performance match standards? Nami-meet ba? Nami-meet ba based dun sa measurement na or pag-assess ninyo na meet ba yung standards. And if not, you need to take corrective action. So, kapag no, babalik siya sa measuring performance. Kapag yes, then stop. So, maybe, so that we can, or you can further relate to this one, right? For instance, just like in school, um, the learning institution would like to measure how you perform as students, right? How you learn, the learning goal of the students. So that's what I wanted to determine. Then I will establish predetermined standards. Like at the end of the lesson, the students should have at least 80% correct, or should have achieved at least 80% of the learning objectives. So, dapat 80% is makapasa, makuha ng estudyante ko. How will I measure the performance? Through quizzes and exams. Like over 100, dapat maka 80 points dapat ang score. Kapag na-meet ba, kung bagsak, then I have to take corrective action. Anong pwedeng, saang part sila nahirapan, or saang part ba pwedeng baguhin para makaabot dun sa performance standard na 80%. Kapag nakapasa naman, then stop, then move on. Okay? Ganun po yung parang simplified explanation of this evaluation and control process. So, kapag sa mga empleyado, let's say, for example, dapat dapat at least hanggang 10 lang ang leaves. 10 lang ang absences annually ng isang empleyado. Yun yung gusto kong i-measure yung yung attendance. So, I have to establish predetermined standards. Sabi ko nga, dapat 10 lang ang absences. How will I measure that one? Based on the leave forms being submitted, based on the attendance biometrics information. Then, kapag na-meet ba yung performance na 10 lang, or maraming uma-absent, so there's something wrong. Baka hindi sila motivated magtrabaho, kaya pala absent. So, then they have to take corrective actions kapag hindi siya. So, that's it. Moving on to our next topic. Now, we have practical examples of steering controls. We have the inventory turnover ratio. Retail stores utilize steering controls like the inventory turnover ratio to measure how efficiently inventory investments are utilized. A higher inventory turnover ratio indicates better inventory management, reducing cash tied up in inventory. So, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, I think, napag-aralan nyo to under kina Ma'am Christina or Sir Leo. It's about inventory management. Kumbaga, na marami kang biniling stocks, let's say 1,000 units. Tapos, dapat, mabenta mo na siya in 6 months. However, hindi mo siya nabenta. So, nag-stock up lang siya doon sa warehouse mo. Let's say, hindi mo siya nabenta in 6 months at meron pang natitirang 500 or 400 units. So, ibig sabihin, there is something wrong kasi yung turnover ratio, hindi siya ganun kaganda. Kumbaga, mas matagal pang nai-stock yung product doon sa warehouse. Ibig sabihin, yung ininvest mo doon or yung pinambili mo ng product is natitengga lang, patay na pera siya. So, what can you do? You have to do something para mapaubos yung mga nabili mong stocks within your time frame. As for the customer satisfaction, it is another essential steering control, with research showing a positive correlation between high customer satisfaction scores and improved stock returns and cash flows. Companies can use various methods to measure customer satisfaction, such as tracking sales divided by service requests or monitoring the time technicians spend on resolving customer issues, implementing dashboard software, can help executives monitor these critical steering controls effectively. So as you know, customer satisfaction is um, essential. Sa marketing kasi CRM yan, part ng CRM. Like, if the customer is satisfied with your after-sales service, then meron at merong chance para bumili sila ulit. So for the non-marketing students, I want to uh, explain this. Like, sa marketing kasi, we have this customer relationship management. Gone were the days na kapag binili na nakabenta ang isang marketer is tapos na. Ngayon, meron na tayong after-sales service kasi ang goal ng marketing is to create a positive relationship with the customer. Which means, kapag magandang relationship ng customer and the company, meron at merong chances na mag-repeat order sila. Or, pag nag-repeat order, ibig sabihin, tataas or gaganda yung brand reputation. Diba? And maganda rin kasi nagkakaroon din possibly ng word of mouth na kung saan, uy, maganda yung customer service, inaasikaso pa nila nung nagka-problema ako, naasikaso ko din kaagad. Yung mga yun, those are positive feedback. Part yun ng word of mouth marketing. Kasi kapag maganda yung sabi-sabi, ma-engganyo din yung mga ibang tao na itangkilikin yung company. So, it is really very important to measure customer satisfaction. If you encountered this one, the rates, for example, for PLDT or for telecom, meron kang customer complaint, let's say naputulan ka ng internet ng biglaan, then tatawag ka sa kanilang customer service hotline. At the end of the call, meron tatanungin na how do you rate how do you rate your experience with our agent? Ganon. Ibig sabihin, kinukuha nilang feedback ng customers. Doon papasok yung customer satisfaction. Okay, kapag mababa syempre yung score na binigay na review or rating, then there's something wrong. Okay? Next one. So we have different types of control mechanisms. We have output controls, behavior, and input. So for the output control, focus on performance results. So performance-based siya. Behavioral naman dictates how tasks are performed using policies, rules, procedures, and directives. And input controls emphasize resources such as employee knowledge, skills, abilities, values, and motivation. Kumbaga, itong output control, ito yung output-based, uh, or results-based. Ibig sabihin, no matter what you do, basta na-achieve yung goal and magandang result, that is output-based. Okay? Pag behavioral-based, ito na yung, syempre, from the word behavior, nasusukat siya or nakokontrol siya through policies policies, rules and regulations of the company, procedures. Ayan. And that is why, as you know, we are very strict in implementing policies and rules because it's a part of the behavioral control. We ask students to wear their complete uniform, right? Because it adheres to the department's values, no? Again, it is part of behavior control, and of course, your attendance also is an example. If you violated these behavior controls, then of course there are some control measures that have to be implemented. Ha. Okay, so moving on. So going back, sorry about the pause, paingay. And yeah, again for input controls, ito yung mga gaano yung in-invest, 'di ba? In-invest na resources because of course resources are hard to replenish. The time that you have consumed in doing the task. What else? Ano ba yung mga resources? Money, moment, machinery, people, or manpower. Gaano ka daming resources ang nagamit. And yung input ba na yun ay sakto lang na na dun sa dinidesire mong output. Baka mamaya masyado ng maraming input mo whereas the output is not that good. So you have to do something about it, right? Parang kumbaga sa madaling salita, for example, if you have a startup or a sole proprietorship business, you wanted to put up your own business, then you invested about 100,000 pesos. You know, let's say money. And then yung parang in 5 years or in 3 years na ROI, hindi mo pa siya nakuha by something wrong kasi mabagal yung mag-replenish nung input mo. Okay? Parang nagkakaroon ka pa ng losses. So those are the three types of control mechanisms. Now, okay, output controls are suited when specific output measures are agreed upon, but the causal relationship between activities results is unclear. Behavioral performance results are hard to measure, but the link between activities and results is relatively clear. And input, when both output measurement and the cause-effect relationship between behavior and performance are challenging. So I think I have given an example already for these output behavior and input controls earlier. Okay? So dito sa output, another example yung sa output-based na, for instance, yung pagsasubmit ng mga requirements. At the end of the day, for example, sa academy, you don't have to set deadlines. Why? No, not really. You don't have to set deadlines. Just for instance, we are more on the output based. So no matter where you are, kahit na nasa bahay ka or nasa school, walang masyadong sa attendance kasi walang masyadong say ang behavior controls kasi output based. Kasi pwede mo naman kapag mag-set ka ng deadline kahit na nasa bahay ka or nasa school ka, pwede mo siyang ma-meet. Ang importante nakasubmit ka ng report. Sa behavior control naman, ito medyo strict sa 8 to 5 na attendance. So, yung attendance na pagpasok, yun yung main concern. Parang ganon. Okay? Next one. Enterprise resource planning. So, we have integrated business activities, instant access to critical information, efficiency and collaboration, and global standard for business or information system. Okay. And we are talking about the ERP. Ayan. So when you say ERP, ERP actually is a software that integrates a company's major business activity from order processing to production. So it allows instant access to critical information for all the levels of organization, promoting efficiency and collaboration across different departments and locations. So, meron siyang software na ginagamit, ERP software. It's really very nice if a company, lalo na kapag malaki, is to invest in this kind of software. So some success stories in ERP implementation, like Microsoft and Coca-Cola, they realized significant benefits from implementing this system, such as cost savings, improved communication, and enhanced decision making. And yung ERP systems like SAP, SAPs parang si Ma'am Christie ang merong experience dito. Have enabled companies to streamline operations, access real-time data globally, and improve customer service through better inventory management. Ito pala yan. So, ito yung success stories, challenges. So, for the challenges, ERP systems may not be suitable for every company because of the complexity. So, it depends kung malaki. Siguro kung super laki niya, mas magandang mag-implement ng ERP. It includes challenges include insufficient customization of the software, inadequate training, and lack of implementation support. For the potential risks naman, inadequate in implementation of ERP can lead to missed shipments, delayed operations, and strained relationships with partners, as seen in cases like Whirlpool's experience with SAP's software. Ayun lang. So, kailangan hindi rin basta-basta yung pag-adapt ng ERP. Kailangan ma-overcome itong mga challenges para ma-avoid itong mga risks. So, dapat ample training, and proper standardization yung gawin para siya maging successful. So, that's it. This is our last topic for finals. Again, if you have questions, just comment on